The chairman of U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee said he was worried about partnership between Russian and Chinese leaders, saying it was biggest threat to Europe and Pacific since World War II. Stockholm. The chairman of U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee said on Friday that he was concerned about the partnership between Russian and Chinese leaders, adding, "I contend that we have not seen such a great threat to Europe and Pacific since World War II." Representative Michael McCall, a Republican from Texas, said that the alliance between Chinese leader Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin is a huge challenge for the free world in this great power competition we find ourselves in. Sweden. The Biden administration has warned Xi government of ambiguous consequences if the Kremlin supports war effort in Ukraine. The report cited Russian customs data showing that Chinese state-owned military contractors supplied navigation equipment, fighter aircraft parts, drones and other goods, but did not specify whether this would trigger U.S. retaliation. Beijing can do this without triggering Western sanctions on its own companies, but Washington and its allies are disappointed that this reduces the economic pressure on Moscow. However, it seems that China is refraining from directly opposing these sanctions. McCall, who was in the U.S. congressional delegation visiting Sweden and met with Foreign Minister Tobias Billström, said that he expected the Scandinavian country to join NATO by October. Sweden, which has been neutral for a long time, applied for NATO membership in 2022 together with its neighbor Finland. New accessions must be approved by all existing members, and Sweden was missing the green light from two countries when NATO leaders met for a summit in Vilnius, Lithuania. Sharing a 1,340-kilometer border with Russia, Finland became the 31st member of the world's largest military alliance in April. However, by NATO's summit in July, Turkey's president had agreed send the accession documents to Turkish parliament for approval. This was something he himself refused do for over a year. "I think it would have the opposite effect of what Mr. Putin wanted to achieve, which was weakening and dividing NATO," McCall said, with Finland and Sweden joining NATO. He said the alliance with the two northern neighbors in NATO has never been stronger and more united. The visiting congressmen also include Gregory Meeks, DN.Y, and Wagner, RMO. Jerry Connolly, DVF, Madeline Dean, DPF, Thomas Keane, RN.J, and Bill Huizinga, R. Michigan. After Stockholm, they would travel to the Netherlands to hold talks with Dutch government officials and members of parliament, among others. The delegation's visit Europe aims to strengthen ties with the U.S.'s strategic allies, as well as discuss support for NATO Ukraine and ways hold Russia accountable for its actions in Ukraine, how face common threats from China. The Netherlands and Denmark recently announced that they will